through the picks and bans. Just thought, whilst I was getting myself set up, we might as well just get everything ready and working properly for the start of the stream. And when they're setting up the lobby and stuff, I'll just start going through the replay of the pick and bans, just so we're not like sort of jumping in halfway through. So they sort of kind of start. I was sort of waiting for them to get ready, and then they sort of just jump started. Maybe I should have started the stream a little bit earlier, but it is what it is. Okay, so they've done the drafts now, so I'm just going to jump over here so you guys can see. I tried to not spoil it for myself. Okay, Genie's already banned Citadels, that's pretty quick, but I did see the Civ bans. But I didn't see the Civ picks, so other than the bans, I'm not sure what else did happen. Jesse normally likes to go to the hybrid maps. I'm not really sure what maps Genie has a preference for. I think he's a pretty decent all-round player. Jesse banning Dark Forest again. He seems to have a habit of banning Dark Forest. I think I'm not actually asking, but I think it's just because he's fine playing any of the other maps, really. And okay, Conti and Ocean Ring picked up pretty quickly. Sahara, go-to for a lot of players, and Inland as well. So yeah, Jesse definitely going with his hybrid maps. Like I said, I think he just bans the Dark Forest just because it's the only map out of the whole pool that he doesn't really care to play. Genie just getting rid of Citadels to keep those more open style maps, but 3 maps with water. Inland can be a little bit weird with how it spawns now and again. And like I said, I did see the bans here, so I'm not going to speculate. Oh, okay, they locked him in very quickly, so I didn't have to pad that out. But yeah, Shang and Latvia immediately off the table. It's going to be interesting to see what the top 2 picks actually are here. Minoans would feel like a good shout considering the map pool. Carthaginians and Yamato picked up, though those are still pretty solid picks. This does leave Jesse with the option of going with Minoans again here, though. Or the Phoenicians would be good. Like I said, both those. Phoenicians always good on pretty much any map. And Hittites is picked up pretty early, and Phoenician and Persians grabbed straight up by Genie. He knows what he wants. There still lives Minoans up, which Jesse does grab now. And now it kind of gets to the point in the draft where, actually that's said, maybe, what else have we got left? Yes, when you don't have the closed map, a lot of the civs kind of feel like they fall down the order quite a lot. Romans, I think, are still just the sort of best of the rest civ, so I wouldn't mind if Jesse went there. I'm a little bit surprised by the Hittites pick. They can be fairly decent. I'm just going to turn the music down a tad on Ocean Ring. If you can get to the Bronze Age and you can take advantage of those longer range scout ships, or well, war galleys at that point. But Babylonians are the go-to for Jesse here. And again, that does leave Romans on the plate for Genie. Like I said, the Civ draft does get a little bit skewed when you don't have those more closed maps picked, just because a lot of the Civs in the game tend to perform a lot better on either Inside Out or Citadels. Chosen is picked up by Genie. I'm a little bit surprised Romans hasn't been picked up by someone. And Assyrians, as much as I dislike the Civ, always seems to end up in the last few picks of the draft. Romans are grabbed by Genie now, though. And I know JC is actually a bit of Macedonians in Jor. Used to be in DE. I think he's not as keen on them in RTR. I think Macedonians is one of those civs that, like, a lot of the civs got improved in Return of Rome, and Macedonians kind of just stayed where they were. But Macedonians was the last pick, and like I said, at the last few picks of the draft, it always feels like you we'll just take whatever. Just take whatever's left at this point. But yeah, like I said, I'm a little bit surprised Hittites got prioritised over the Minoans by Jesse there. Greeks is just the last pick for Genie. I don't think we'll probably see the Greeks on any of these maps. I think he's just thought, well, I didn't need another civ. Like I said, you get 6 picks in a best of 5, so you don't use all your civs anyway. Again, slightly surprised. I mean, I guess he chose Chosen at the same time, relatively, in the draft, so to speak, over the Romans. But yeah, Babylonian's quite an interesting earlier pick by Jesse. Like I said, Romans were still in the pool at that point. And yeah, I think this is one of the few series where I've seen both Shang and Latvia actually banned. Often what happens, because these bans are hidden, and what can happen a lot of the time is like Latvia gets banned by both players, or Shang gets banned by both players, and that leaves the other Civ available for the players to pick. Let me just check where the players are at in terms of making the lobby, etc. Just get AOE2 Rex. Oh, okay, they're already in the game. Wow, they're really not messing around. Okay, so I'll stop rabbiting on and get us into the first game of the series. Like I said, best of 5. I'll turn that streaming off thing there. We'll mute the music and get us straight into game 1. Always have to always takes me a couple of seconds to remember I have to load up the community patch data mod when I start the streams. But we're going to get ourselves in nice and quick. Where's my capture age? There it is. I'm going to slow this down a bit. I think we are like a minute or so behind. You can see Jesse's already going for those elephants. It's going to be Carth and Chosen. So it's actually Jesse's first pick of Carthaginians. Genie going for the Chosen, just picking one of his weaker civs, saving the stronger civs for later. Like I said, Jesse was first to go and claim those middle elephants in the middle of the map. And just having a quick look around to see where the other elephants are. Maybe Genie managed to grab, yeah, it looks like Genie did grab one of the sort of outer middle ones. Did Jesse actually grab another one there? I think he might have done. Just trying to see again where all the elephants are. That's a wolf up there. I feel like I'm missing an elephant somewhere. One down there. Oh, he's hidden away. There he is. Hidden next to the cliff. Blending in with the grey background. But yeah, Genie already with the forward villager. That's actually spotted though. Alright, well, we did a little bit of fast forward just to get us back up to live. So we're already at the point where both players are going for the tool age. Both 20 pop and exactly the same idle TC time, funnily enough. Though, arguably, Carthaginians probably should have the slightly faster of the two, given their stronger Stone Age. So maybe that's a good sign for Genie going into the tool. Chosen always have that little bit of a power spike at the start of tool age with the cheaper storage pit techs and the slightly healthier axeman. But the barracks is going to get slowed down. And have a couple of villagers coming forward to try and get that done. So Jesse's done a good job of denying that barracks go down. He's just going to put up a barracks back at home himself. This villager probably will get taken down by Genie now. Okay, pretty good reaction by Jesse there, notices in time. So we'll save the villager. And he's going to be the first with a barracks. In fact, it's double barracks. Not quite enough space for that villager to do his do. So the initial push from Genie is going to be a little bit slowed down. Archery range coming down straight away as soon as Genie hits the tool age though. That's one of the sort of not so great things about the Chosen. It's like, yeah, they do get the storage pit techs and the slightly healthier Axa, but that doesn't really help you with an archer transition at all. Or bowman transition, as like none of your bonuses actually help the bows. It just means your initial Axa push is a little bit stronger. But again, Jesse's done a good job of denying that. Is Jesse going to manage to? I don't think he started building that gate yet, so that Clubber will sneak through. Axa there, ready to receive though, so it shouldn't be too big a problem. There we go, Jesse actually going to fully wall up the front of his base. Obviously he's still exposed on his flanks. It's an archery range going up at the back for Jesse. He is actually housed at the moment, but the Clubbers are actually going to take down the forward vills. That's going to prevent what was going to be a second barracks from coming up, and that's a little bit sloppy from Genie to let Jesse get away with that. That Clubber is going to sneak in, and villagers don't have needleworking in, so this Clubber is going to be a bit of a nuisance. but the second barracks is going to get denied. Okay, bow at the back again, and one axer inside. This villager may, not make it. But yeah, battle axe comes in for Genie, but there are no axes left on the field. Still have this one barracks. The second one's going to get denied. Jesse risking going out for a granary. Feels like he's secured himself a big enough foothold, I guess, in front of his base. He does have a couple of slingers and a handful of axes as well, but he does need to be careful that he doesn't expose himself. Going to try and... I'm actually surprised he didn't finish off that barracks. Looks like he's trying to get a push of his own going for the time being, but in the meanwhile, Genie has fully walled himself up, even the little gap in the wood line closed up as well for good measure. And does already have the archer armour in. I hadn't actually noticed that come in, but Jesse being diligent with getting his techs out means the axer isn't going to be able to do much in return. You can see the KD 13-1 in favour of Jesse already. And another couple of villagers were caught out somewhere. I don't know exactly where that was. I don't know if Genie sent forward another couple of vills, because Jesse hasn't gone forward yet. So 5 villagers already lost for Genie. And that's going to give Jesse a good vill lead at this point. The storage pit going down on the stone hit just to help possibly slinger production, maybe just to get some extra stone for walling up, etc. Maybe a couple of towers just to try and secure his position. A little small force from Genie. Ooh, okay, locked the gate right at the last second. That was nearly somewhat disastrous, as he doesn't have much army at home, does Jesse. Going for a little push at the front now. And villagers being piled in to try and get this wall to go up. One more villager goes down. Does get the wall section mostly built. And yeah, Jesse's going to need a couple more bows at the back to try and hold the position here. But he's got a good offense going on at the moment. Just going to take down a handful of houses for the time being. And this is going to leave Genie housed. So his unit production going to be stifled. Quite a few idle villagers as well. Doesn't appear to have any villagers trying to build houses, trying to get barracks up, but he is still housed. It's a little bit of a mistake. Villagers coming forward again. Jesse trying to punish. Doesn't quite have the range units. Yeah, those mostly just the slingers without the stone mining. Actually going for the woodworking tech first over stone mining that. And he does finish off the barracks. Jesse looking in a very tidy position now. We're going to see a little bit of a battle here. I think Jesse has plenty of units to hold this if he's paying attention though. Does lose bow. Another bow just about staying alive. But yeah, Genie just scrambling to try and get some sort of defense going. And let's have a look now. 33 villagers to 25. Genie has managed to unhouse himself now, but now it's a 9 villager lead and down to 3 military units for Genie as well. So this is already looking pretty good for Jesse. He's probably going to be able to start working his way, getting the food to possibly go to Bronze Age if he wants to. It's always a little bit hard to crack your opponent's base in the Tool Age once they get themselves fully walled up. Unless, I guess, I mean, he does have 5 slingers, maybe if he added a handful more. Got the stone mining in. Maybe try and think about breaking through the walls. The defensive watchtower is going to come up. So yeah, and it looks like, again, from the food amount, Jesse going a bit more idle TC time to just get the 800 food he needs. Work himself up to it towards bronze, finishing off the walls as well. Need to wall to the edge of the map here just to be fully walled. I think he needs to just explore that area. Yeah, he's just sending that villager to have a little look-see. But yeah, completely clears up the forward. Bronze Age is in. Genie on a mere 55 food now. A long way off clicking to Bronze Age himself. We've already got a small force pushing away. Genie does manage to snipe off the bowman. Stone mining finally coming in now for Jesse. He's got a lot of axes. Maybe we could try and pick off at the corner of the wall there. A couple of those going to get picked off by Jesse. Pretty sure woodworking isn't in yet by Genie. He's not had a chance to get that in yet. Jesse just battering away at the walls. And Genie's going to wall up behind this. Another villager goes. A couple of villagers go down on the farms. And yeah, deletes a house to try and get to the wall construction. Another villager on the wood might go down. There we go. There he goes. Domestication, all the market upgrades. I think that's literally all 4 tool age market upgrades. Jesse, you might want to cancel that just to get a wheel in sooner. He's actually not switched onto the gold just yet. It looks like he's trying to set up his eco, not adding in any gold bronze age units for the time being. Let's have a decent force of tool age units still left, which you could just add in a couple of storage pit upgrades just to make these a little bit stronger if you want to. But yeah, wheel coming in now after gold mining is finished. Archery range is going to go down. I'm going to see a little battle here. Jesse, don't know if he does take this. There's quite a good number of axes. But okay, stone mining in now means this thing can get a good amount of DPS. Pretty close fight, but I think Jesse is just going to about take this. Or maybe not actually. Villagers get involved. In fact, the Axer going to sweep up. So Genie holds for the time being. Does lose his archery range in the process. Still quite a long way from going to the Bronze Age stables, and it's going to be cavalry coming out for Jesse now. And Carthaginians also. I don't know, has he added in a government centre just yet? Carthaginians do get nobility for free. Oh, and GG is just called. Genie just, I guess, realising that he's not going to breed a Bronze Age anytime soon, decides to tap out. And in the end, yeah, pretty nice game for Jesse. It was kind of strange just because it felt like, yeah, this spot here, Genie just got his forward vills caught out. It kind of felt like just losing those forward vills. And also, I guess if we go even further back, the point where the initial villager got denied, got spotted. I'm not sure if Jesse was actually going for a forward of his own here, and they just happened to spot each other. Hang on. Oh, interesting. I guess he sort of caught it on the minimap, and then that was kind of lucky to re-find that vill there. But yeah, like I said, there was a handful of vills just lost on the outside. That just gave Jesse like the villager lead automatically, and another handful of villagers did get picked off by design. But yeah, I didn't really see where those other vills got picked. Where was it? It's like yeah, oh yeah, 5 here. I feel like a couple of these units must have been villagers. Yeah, there we go. 2 more villagers got sent forward. So yeah, Genie just playing a little bit recklessly with his forward vills there. Got those completely cut out. And that just gave Jesse a pretty big advantage on the eco count without really having to do much. Like I said, at this point, Genie's actual base hadn't actually been attacked. He was just offering up villagers. And Jesse just was able to take it from there, really. Like I said, Genie, just no hope of really working his way to the Bronze Age in that game. And so, like I said, a pretty convincing game 1. Maybe Jesse might be starting to think a bit more optimistically about the series. Like I said, he was a little bit apprehensive about the whole thing. And they have already started their second game. So yeah, no hanging around there. So I don't even have time to sort of talk about the draft. Oh no, hang on. Looks like one of the players might have called a re there. Okay, so we do have time to go quickly back to the draft whilst they set up another lobby. So I didn't actually catch what map that was, so I'll have to check again in a second. So we had the Carthaginians win up against the Chosen. I mean, it's still not the end of the world for Genie. That was his fourth civ in his draft against Jesse's top civ. Genie still has Yamato, Phoenicians, both very strong civs. Persians can be pretty good on Ocean Ring as well, so it'll be interesting to, or even Sahara really. But Yamato, yeah, it's got quite, yeah, with Romans as well. These are all reasonably versatile civilizations. Like I said, Greeks I think is just sort of the sixth pick that Genie kind of had to have. Okay, so it's actually going to be Ocean Ring that we do go to, interestingly. So Genie's picking Jesse's map here. And it'll be interesting to see if Jesse does just pull out the Minoans now, or maybe if he utilises the Hittites here. I think maybe I'd probably go with the Hittites with Armis Jesse. And Genie really has a whole slew of options here. You could really go, even the Greeks potentially, but I suspect one of these other four civs. Persians, like I said, do have that quite nice start on Ocean Ring. But they've already launched the game, so I'll stop the speculation and just jump on in. See what we see. Get for the civs. And okay, Jesse has chosen the Minoans straight away. So it leaves me curious as to where the Hittites do get played. And Genie has gone with his first pick, which was the Yamato. Both of these civs have been, obviously, well, it's been quite a while since the nerfs happened, but both have been nerfed in the early game on water maps. The cheaper ship bonus for Noans only starts off at 15% in the Stone Age now, instead of the 30% it used to be. It ramps back up to 30% by the Iron Age, and equally, I think it's the 20% HP bonus that Yamato get for their ships in the early game now, and that ramps back up to 35%. So sort of the battle of quantity over quality between Minoans and Yamato on the seas. Yamato obviously has some more options for potentially going for some aggression on the land. They helped out quite a lot by the cheaper archery range and cheaper stable bonus, which means just whacking a couple of, or even like one archer range and one stable, you save 100 wood instantly there. That's always quite nice. And also the Yamato faster working fishing ship bonus as well. It means that Yamato potentially can also go for the economy approach on the water maps as well. And Jesse going for a dock straight away with the Minoans. So obviously Minoan team bonus of the cheaper docks as well. There's a lot of bonuses going on for both teams that apply in this map. Didn't quite finish that dock off. That was a little unusual there. I'm not sure exactly. He was just queuing up the next command for the villager there. And yeah, as is per usual, both players going through for the hunt and leaving the berries for later. And going with the storage pit on the wood first. That's such quite a nice storage pit next to a couple of those shorefish if he wants to go grab those with a fisherman. And second dock already coming out for Jesse as well. So going quite greedy on the water straight away. And sometimes players don't actually go for a dock that early on in this map. They will just try and get to the tool age first and then add in the dock on the way up to the tool age, and then try and be the first to get scout ship production going. And that can be a good way of punishing people that go for the early fishing economy. But it looks like both players going with a somewhat similar approach. And like I said, just getting those early ducks out, getting some fishing boats out on the field. And it normally does have the effect that you do delay your tool age a little bit, as you have most of your villagers collecting wood just to get those ships up and running. And yeah, it just takes a little while for the food economy to catch back up again. You can see idle TC's time starting to creep up a little bit for both players. It will be interesting to see how, at what point the players do click up. It looks like Genie has far more food available at the moment. And should be really close to clicking. Like I said, Jesse was quite greedy. We're going for the double dock pretty early on. That's interesting. Genie sort of cutting off his pool there. I don't know. There is like sometimes ships can sort of cross over a little bit of the land. But I don't know where if he has the dock there, if the ships will just get trapped in that area. We might see. Hopefully, we don't get the ships getting stuck in there. They might be able to just squeeze around the edge. We'll have to see on that one. But yeah, Jesse already set up with 8 fishing boats, and he's going for his 3rd dock. And Genie has already gone. Well, both players are going up now, but Genie about 40% of the way. And obviously, quite a lot more idle TC time from Jesse. So yeah, like I said, just having to hold back on villager production as he's committed more to the fishing boats. So again, I've said it a few times before. It's a little bit annoying that capture age doesn't show the villager count and fishing boat count separately, because this eco number just counts both together. So it's a little bit hard to get an exact look at what players have eco-wise. But yeah, in the meantime, barracks going up. Just obviously to unlock those tool age buildings of the archer range stable, I would think. I don't think Genie's going to go for much on the land yet. It's just going to be the scout ships coming out straight away. Like I said, I don't 100% know if that fishing boat can get out of that pool. Which in the short term doesn't matter, but it does mean that like once those fish there run out, don't know if those fishing boats are going to be trapped down. Fourth dock already coming out for Jesse. I don't feel like scout ships. I mean, obviously, yeah, for the Minoans now in the tool age, they're 20% cheaper, but they cost 135 base wood, which 20% reduction. That's 27 off for trying to do maths on the fly. 108 wood each. I would have thought that's a little hard to sustain production from 4 docks, but we'll see. First scout ship coming out from Genie, going on a little trip around. Getting some, well, scouting. It is what it is. There's no different word for it. And it's doing a little bit of scouting with the fishing boat as well. Okay, maybe if you just puts the one fishing boat in there, that's probably fine. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure if it is stuck in that little lake. But then, yeah, 5 scout ships to the 3. Again, the Yamato scout ships, 130 HP. A little bit tougher. But hopefully Genie might be able to... okay. I was going to say if he kept targeting the same fishing boat, he might have been able to snipe one off there. But he's not going to get away with it. And he does pull the scout ship up back from up here. I guess just try and bring that unit together. He's seen that Jesse has a decent navy force already. Jesse already having the woodworking upgrade coming in. So Genie will definitely want to be clicking that in at some point himself. He does have the market. And okay, watchtower being researched as well, which is quite curious. Watchtowers aren't really that effective against ships. It's one of the things that's been talked about quite a lot on the Discord, is whether or not ship towers should have a bit of extra bonus damage versus ships, a bit like how they do in AOE2. In my opinion, they should have some at least. Some think it needs to be like a tech, a bit like heated shot, but those are discussions for other days. In the meantime, Jesse has already collected bronze, and Genie has as well. Both players played fairly conservatively in the early game. We may see a little bit of a tussle on the water here now that Jesse is pressing forward. Like I said, he does have a pretty good advantage in terms of his uptime there. And eco-wise, Genie has committed a lot more. Actually, it doesn't look like it has that many fishing ships. I think it's literally just villager numbers. Yeah, 31 villagers. So, Jesse not paying attention to his military ships though. Going to take a few free shots. This seems a little bit clumsy by Jesse. I don't know if he's just going to like run straight through. He's taken a lot of free damage. You can see their HP advantage at the bottom of the little graph there. And so he does have reinforcements coming around the top side, as I receive a message. We'll check that in a moment. But I think he's kind of doomed a big part of his fleet here. War galley upgrade is coming in. Does manage to pick up a fishing ship. And he's trying to do a decent job kiting us out. Maybe if he can get on the wood line though, that'd be a lot of damage. Genie a little bit slow to start moving that away. Probably, I mean, he's been chasing this through. He should have seen that coming, really. So Jesse just trying to commit to punishing more eco. And War Galley upgrade is in now. And if Jesse can get these reinforcements in time, perhaps he can change the tide of this fight. I think he's lost too many ships at this point, though. War Galley upgrade not going to do enough to even that out. But he did, like I say, manage to get a good number of fishing boat and villager kills in that. And Genie actually in the meantime is going out with cavalry. Does actually have a decent amount of gold, but doesn't really have any food. Lost a lot of those fishing boats. It's left him pinched for resources. War Galley upgrade not going to be able to be afforded by Genie for the time being. And Jesse is going to be able to continue the push on the water. A little bit surprised the fishing ship upgrade hasn't come in for Jesse just yet. Excuse me. And potentially we'll see some of the players try to push out. But yeah, cavalry. Oh yeah, well, Jesse is open. In fact, he's trying to get the walls up now. But he doesn't have any units to deal with the cavalry. So just the one cavalry unit. I mean, like I said, it is a little bit naked at the moment. Doesn't have any of the storage pit techs in. Archer range coming up now. And, oh, quick house block. Is he going to be able to get the warp in time? Oh, very nice. That's very quick by Jesse there. That's going to save him a bit of trouble for the time being and give him a little chance to try and get himself set up to get something to do with the cavalry there. Dock built on the centre island for Genie. So he's going to be the first to try and push out. Yeah, very nice quick walls by Jesse there. Just about squeaking in those walls. He's going to lose the house there, but he's got plenty of pop space at the time being. He's trying to tech into... Oh, no, okay. For some reason, I've got confused. I thought Jesse was Yamato for a sec then. Although Yamato can actually go for composite bowman as well. But obviously, composite bowman, pretty strong unit for the Minoans with the extra range. And Jesse isn't utilising his ships. Okay, they started moving them off now as we see a train of Genie's Yamato ships coming forward. Fishing ship upgrade only just coming up now. Should prevent these ships from getting sniped off just because they're a lot faster now. And we'll see. Okay, yeah, composite bowman already coming in. Another couple of archery ranges coming down. Jesse is getting a little bit squeezed for space. That's one of the problems if you don't get yourself out on the central island quick enough. Sometimes you can just get a little bit boxed in. Starting to run out of wood on his first island as well. Big navy coming forward. Like I said, he's not really been utilising his own ships, and that's going to give Genie some free time to try and punish the fishing eco. I think you can imagine most of these fishing ships are going to go down here. Villager goes down as well. Not exactly sure what the purpose of that, but the wall is now open. Cavalry could sneak in. +2 range upgrade coming in for Genie now. I think Jesse needed to be a little bit more aggressive at this point. Yeah, the cavalry units are in, and there's nowhere near enough military on the land. Villagers trying to build the house is going to go down. And I think this has all gone a little bit pear-shaped for Jesse. Melee armor isn't actually in for these cavalry, but obviously 150 HP. And I think Jesse's unfortunately let this come a little bit undone. Going to lose masses of his eco. You can see the numbers creeping up there. And like I said, if Genie just had the... Okay, yeah, needleworking came in a little bit late, but it's in now. yeah, if Genie, there this is actually that was what I was literally going to say, is if Genie just had that upgrade in, I think another 5, 6, 7 of those villagers probably would have gone down. Alright, Wattle. And Inherent Spirit as well. Alright, yeah, Wattle was already in the stream. He was just saying hi to Spirit, fair enough. But anyway, in the meantime, what I wasn't paying attention was to Jesse getting some damage in. I think Genie has moved most of his eco to the central island now, though. I'm not exactly sure. I might just quickly skip back a small amount to see. Yeah, it looks like Genie had already evacuated because the eco kill death didn't change that. So it's just a few buildings destroyed by the war galleys. And now we're going to see a little bit of tussle on the water. Well, I say a tussle, unfortunately, it's another situation where Jesse's kind of just right-clicked his... Oh, okay, well, he's managed to pick up a few villagers here at the very least, even if he does lose quite a bit of his fleet. This was actually Jesse's home map, but interestingly, Genie picked it. It's actually, sorry, it's actually 1-0 to Jesse. I completely forgot to update the scoreboard there. So Jesse did actually win the first game on Highland, and this is Jesse's map, but Genie chose it. I'll get rid of the timeline there. I think both players are okay. Well, Jesse likes the hybrid maps, and I think Genie's happy playing those as well. But yeah, again, Jesse maybe throwing away a little bit of his navy, and this has given him a chance to sort of expand out onto the main island himself now. Composite bowman numbers are on the rise. So Jesse not out of the game just yet. He's actually going to have to pick up a fishing ship there. But Genie with a decent edge at this point now. Still good number of cavalry out on the field. But once those Minoan composite bowmen get massed up, it is quite hard to deal with them. Just the one base pierce armour for the cavalry means probably won't get too much damage down. Yeah, Jesse already with the +4 melee armour in for those archers as well, whereas Genie's missing the +4 attack. Be interesting to see if Genie does add in a siege workshop, try and get some stone throwers out soon. I'm not seeing it so far. And that's one of the best counters to the compy mass. Just hit him with a big rock. Seems to work pretty well. Yeah, no sign of the siege workshop just yet. You can see Genie's base looking a bit bare now that most of the resources are gone and quite a few of his initial buildings are lost. And then the dock goes down. Genie does still have control of the central island, where Jesse's trying to sort of grab control of that to a certain extent. And yeah, I think without the +4 attacking, these cavalry are just going to struggle a little bit to get much done. Excuse me, Genie going to be forced to pull the villagers back. Still a good chunk, yeah, squad of compies pushing forward. Genie does still have the eco edge, but now Jesse is on 4 TCs. Getting himself back up, set up eco. Ooh, a lot of villagers going to get picked off here as well. I had thought Genie had pulled those back, but I guess maybe just look confused. Command, or maybe the pathing took those villagers in a very unfavourable direction, and now the eco advantage is switched all the way back in favour of Jesse. And Genie's still trying to make cavalry a quite expensive unit. Like I said, still no +4 damage in. Making these compies fairly resilient with the +4 armour. There's probably going to be a bunch more villagers, well, at least having to be forced to run. Potentially here Jesse could think about just putting a stable down and maybe just building a handful of cavalry just to chase down these pesky wheel villagers. They're so fast with the wheel in. It's a little bit annoying trying to hunt them down. Let's pick up a few fishing ships here as well. There we go. And yeah, eco massively swinging the favour. 20 eco. Again, that's fishing ships and villagers combined. Like I said, it looked a little bit sketchy for Jesse at one point, where he lost quite a lot of his initial Bronze Age navy, and his cavalry did get in. And like I said, I think if Genie just had the +2 armor in for those cavalry, maybe Jesse would have even been out of the game. Jesse getting that needlework tech just in time. +4 attacks finally coming in. But Jesse's at 41 composite bowmen now. I'm not sure what the other rest of them. Okay, they're just a little bit spread out everywhere. Just a few squads here and there. You can just see the blue starting to cover, encroaching across the map now. It's always quite interesting games on Ocean Ring. It's one, like I said before, it's one of my favourite maps from Return of Rome, just because there's so many different ways the game can go. Quite a few decent civs on this map as well. It gives you a little bit of variety. And, Jesse might get a little bit caught out. It looks like he's just focusing down the stable. This is going to give the cavalry a chance to close the distance. And now +4 is in, so there will be much more effective now. Villagers coming forward. No needleworking on those villagers though, so it means they just kind of get sent to the death. GG is called. It's very hard to play. Well, that's the thing. It's like Ocean Ring's like not really been fully figured out. I don't think this, which is kind of cool. Makes it hard to play, but it means there isn't a set way people play the game. But yeah, Jesse bringing that one back. Like I said, he did set himself up reasonably nicely in the Tool Age, getting himself to the bronze a little bit quicker. But then there was just this moment where, he sort of, I don't know, just didn't notice Genie's initial navy, I should say. Took quite a lot of damage on his scout ships, and then I was worried he was just going to lose the whole of his navy here. But if we just fast forward a little bit, he did manage to take down quite a bit of the eco before losing of the ships. You can see he's just at this point, you can realise he sort of put himself in a spot of bother. He does manage to pick up a fishing ship there, or boat I should say. But yeah, got good damage down. Like I said, a little bit lax by Genie to let him get picked off. Yes, I think it was with these, maybe gets the fisherman there as well. You can see it was 10 eco kills at the end. Did lose most of his navy for that, but that put him in a good position. But then, the next phase was trying to keep this cavalry out. And like I said, he had this big, massive war galleys up here for some time, but he didn't really get much of a push out, which left him a little bit vulnerable to this cavalry. And I think needlework wasn't in. Yeah, needlework wasn't in at this point. And nice handful of cavalry coming forward. And like I said, I think if Genie had the +2 armor in, those villagers wouldn't have been able to do any damage back. And you can see they're just all in the corner there. Needlework still not in. So these villagers are doing 3 damage instead of just the 1 if Genie had that tech in. And I think those cavalry, yeah, you can see needlework. This is needlework. Don't trust capture age there. I think if the leather armor was in, this cavalry just mop up. But yeah, Jesse just about managing to hold. And the war galleys were brought back to try and defend for Genie. And then there was just this, yeah, just sort of like trickling in the cavalry into the Minoan not crossbows, sorry. We're not Age of Empires 2, composite bows. And then yeah, there's just this moment around here. Let me just find it. Where Genie sort of pulled the villagers away, and then I went to look at something else, and then when I looked back, all the villagers were there again. So, okay, so yeah, he pulled them. Okay. Guess he tasked him to up here, and yeah, just lost the whole bunch of villagers. And that just gave Jesse a massive eco lead, and Genie was just never really able to amass the army he needed to push the compies back. 2-0 to Jesse. So taking a commanding position in the series. Fortunately, AOE2 Rex has gone a little bit goofy, so I might have to look for the game in game. Oh no, we got it back. And next game's already started. They don't give me much chance to run through the game. But yeah, Genie losing on Yamato to Minoans. Next map is going to be Continental. And I won't talk civs too much, just because, like I said, they've already started the game. So I'll just jump us straight in again. Oh no, I need to close this game first. That would help. Let me try that one more time. But yeah, Jesse, if Jesse could go 3-0 here, I think that would... I mean, like I said, this players are reasonably even in skill level, but I think Genie, I would have said, had the slight edge. So if Jesse can take this 3-0, I think he'd be very pleased with that. Yeah, I just like to sort of try and run through the little key, what I feel like are the key moments. Normally I have to fill in a little bit because the players take a little while setting up the lobbies and stuff again, but Jesse and Genie are both like really active players. They're always really on top of it. Not giving me the time to talk. I'm just going to make sure I'm actually fully up to date. I think we are. Yeah, we are live now. So we're going to get the Persians, and the Hittites is chosen here by Jesse on Continental. And I've said quite a few times I'm not as big of a fan of the Hittites on the water maps as well as the more open maps these days, just because they don't have an eco bonus, and now it's only +1 range on the scout ships. It's a lot easier to overcome that discrepancy when it used to be +2 straight away and then +3 in Bronze Age on the war galley. That range advantage was a little bit ridiculous, but they've been nerfed down, and I think that nerf was warranted, but at the same time the Hittites didn't really get anything in compensation, so you kind of have to, I don't know, you just have to, it's just difficult. It's what I'm trying to say, when you, as the Hittites, when you don't have any of that eco bonus to give you that sort of edge, you just have to try and be very good with your trades in little military skirmishes and stuff like that, and just try and utilize that +1 range as best as you can. And again, like it's the same for the bowmen, right? They get the +1 damage in the tool age, but if the opponent's prepared with slingers just completely counter that. So in my opinion, Hittites kind of being forced to being a bit of a Bronze Age civ these days, which usually means they only really excel on the more closed maps, in my opinion. But we'll see if Jesse can prove me wrong in this one and take it over Genie on the Persians here. Persians do have the faster attacking scout line, so if he can get within range of those Hittite ships, then he's obviously going to have the actual damage advantage if we do see much of the skirmish on the sea. And also the Persians with their hunt bonus means potentially they could even just rush down the Hittites on the land. Genie does have sometimes play a bit more aggressively, and I think this might be the forward villager to try and get that done. 35 seconds idle TC. Not the absolute best, but you can see here Jesse quite a ways behind himself. He's felt forced to... That's interesting. Maybe that's just to double up on the fish as well. Normally Jesse's pretty diligent with pushing the gazelle here, but maybe he spotted. I'm gonna have a quick look back just to see how the spawn was. Yeah, so I guess he spotted the fish there, decided to just build a second storage pit there. Obviously that is a commitment of quite a bit of wood. It has actually managed to get a dock out as well. But Genie, and here you can see villager coming forward now. And Jesse's not going to be in the tool age for quite some time. Just waiting for a little bit of wood as Genie to get his barracks down. He had 125 for a barracks. There it goes. But yeah, Genie almost exactly where he needs to be with that barracks. And Jesse building the barracks at home. So he's not going to be able, they're not going to be too far behind with clubbers, but Genie's going to be way ahead and be able to get those upgrades. Interesting that he's gone for the wall straight away. Potentially didn't need to add that in just yet. I guess maybe he's just going to think about getting himself up set up defensively. And barracks just outside of range of those houses there. Axer upgrade coming in, armor upgrade coming in. Jesse going for needle. Sorry, that wasn't needle. That's the tool work. Tool age. Sorry, needle working queued up behind a few villagers. Potentially Jesse's going to need to cancel some of those just to get the needle work out a little bit earlier. Clubber for clubber at the moment. +2 armor isn't already for Genie. Axe upgrade going to be here as well. It's going to have the technology edge. And Jesse's initial clubber going to go down pretty soon. Okay, so Jesse has managed to just about keep his wood line safe for the time being. Archery range is already down for Genie though. And for a second I thought that was Genie walling in Jesse's berry line, but it's actually Jesse trying to defend some of his vills on the berries there. And Genie trying to break through the house line. Jesse just getting the wall set up. There is a bow already out to try and punish, but I think Jesse's done just about enough. Maybe if he pulls another villager to help it. It's always a little bit awkward once your opponent's on bows. But yeah, needlework is in. Genie at home is setting up the walls. Like I said, I feel like he should just be focusing forward instead of I guess he's just trying to make sure he's covering off any potential forward that Jesse may have done. Obviously we know that that's not the case. And villagers desperately trying to put that wall up. One villager is going to go down. Genie adding in a couple of slingers now to the push. And he could just try going through the either the barracks or the storage pit here. Instead he's going to keep focusing the wall by the... Okay, yeah, he's going for the gate now. Jesse has put out a couple of scout ships, but he's not sent them forward, and there are a couple of scout ships in queue for Genie now. He's not actually put any fishing boats out, so there's no real counterplay on the water here. Scout ships do quite a lot of damage, though, so you can range those land units. It's going to be quite nice, but the gate is going to go down. Genie is going to be in. And Genie is not... It looks like he was trying to even attack the ships there. Only a couple of axes in defense. Quick walls again from Jesse. It's very well practiced. Oh, he's going to trap in. He's going to trap them in. Wow, what a play by Jesse there. It's not much HP on these walls though. And obviously you can just go for the house. So I guess it probably looks better than it actually was. And the axe is going to be able to get surely to the woodline villagers. Again, Jesse going for some more quick walls. Is it open here? No, it is shut. House blocking off the route, but Jesse's running out of space. Bowman sneaking around the back. Scout ships have been doing a good job of trying to pick off the army, though. Jesse still only lost the one villager for the time being. Quite a few axes actually out from Jesse as well in the meantime. Got another barracks down on the south side there. So Genie's attack, I think, has been thwarted with a whole bunch of little tricky walls from Jesse here. Yeah, scout ships have been massed up, like Andres just said. Though Jesse needs probably, sorry, Genie probably needs to pick off the villager there instead of the ship, but the ship will go down. Woodworking is coming in for Jesse. I don't know, did Genie have woodworking? He does not have woodworking yet. So potentially, Jesse can just keep that production going. Slight eco edge is in favour of Genie still. And he may feel like adding, no, still just adding scout ships from all his excuse me, his docks at the moment. Hittites currently have +2 range advantage, although he's not not utilising that. Yeah, a few more ships going to be picked off. Jesse's going to need to reinforce the lines here. Do have a little bit more of a battle going on the land. But yeah, you can see military in favour of Jesse for the time being. So water, 4 scout ships to the 7 of Genie's, and again these are Persian scout ships, so they can get in range. They do have the higher DPS. Currently the +2 range advantage for Jesse. You can see you can try and kite these fights out. And Genie still doesn't quite have the resources to add in the woodworking tech. Another fishing ship. Is that fishing ship stuck on the land? That's a bit curious. No, it wasn't. It was just idle. Ooh, game paused. Have a quick look.
Yes.
Genie says, 1 sec, doorbell. So we're going to have a little doorbell pause as Genie has to answer the door. I'll take a quick swig. Of my odd drink. Wet the whistle. And you can see Jesse here trying to go with a little bit of a counter push with all these axes here. Tool storage pit techs both in. Genie doesn't have any military units in defense, but he is fully walled by the looks of it. So the axes, sorry, he will have time to respond to the axes. And does have some amount of wood in bank as well, so he could potentially just drop an archery range and start trying to go bows of his own. Has quite a lot of stone, excuse me, sorry. So he can maybe just plonk down a couple of towers. We'll see. It's actually one of the lesser talked about Persian bonuses is that their walls are actually 20% cheaper, so it's actually quite a lot easier to wall up bigger areas of the map with the Persians. So you can see the 1 extra villager on stone going, maybe collecting a little bit too much stone. But yeah, we can see the continued battle on the water. Like I said, Jesse taking good advantage of the Hittite bonus there. And again, massively helped out by the fact that he's got the woodworking upgrade in and Genie doesn't yet. And there we go. Genie's just going to wall up behind, put a second layer in. And it is indeed the archery range coming down to add in a few bows. And Jesse's going to find the forward dock as well here. Oh, looks like axes did get on the back line. I'm not exactly sure what happened here. Don't know if it was just a little bit of an overchop. Jesse, I don't know where he's paying attention to. Scout ships, fortunately, are going to, I think, mostly going to keep defense, but a handful of units getting taken down. I guess Jesse's just paying attention at the front here. Losing a whole bunch of villagers. But like I said, fortunately, there's a little cluster of scout ships to do the work for Jesse there. There are lots of idle villagers. And that's put him massively behind on eco now. He does have the military advantage for the moment. Double walls coming down for Genie. Like I said, bows coming in to defend as well. I think Jesse's probably going to look back at his base and just think what the nerf has happened here. As Genie continues trying to press the attack. And yeah, Jesse just not able to pay attention to enough places on the map at once. I think there's still no woodworking in for Genie. But again, if he can close those gaps, he does have the damage advantage. Jesse's just trying to get rid of these forward buildings now. Trying to end the madness. Might see a little bit of conflict on the water. And I think Jesse needs to kite this out if he wants to win. Although actually some decent focus fire there. Means I think he is going to take this battle now, although he's going to lose a few fishing boats for it. This is 1 on 5 HP. Made that battle a little bit closer than it should have been, really. Again, let's focus back on the land. Jesse, again, still with a massive military edge, and it's going to clear up all these buildings. But 16 eco count ahead for Genie now. And you'd think, yeah, with the number of woodworkers, lumberjacks as well, maybe this is, there we go, time to start adding in the fishing boats. Get himself heading towards the Bronze Age. Yeah, it was just those few axes that snuck around the back. Just gonna, in fact, whilst we have a little lull in the action. It was just over-chopped. Simply over-chopped. One of the bowmen had already snuck in. Jesse just didn't close the door there. Lost a whole bunch of his eco. You can see 9 eco kills. And again, it does have the military edge, although it's still slightly in favour of Genie on the water. But you've got to expect Genie's going to be able to work himself up to the Bronze Age fairly soon. He was adding in a few farms. I think, like I said, it would just be mostly the fishing boats he'll be adding in now. Finally, the woodworking upgrade coming in. I kind of feel like that's pretty much the only thing that's been holding Jesse in the game so far. Is that he's had, I mean, he's miles behind on resources collected though. But yeah, the only real reason he's been able to keep hold on the water is just having that +2 range, one from the Hittite bonus and one from the woodworking. Alright, Aki. And yeah, a little bit of a push on the water from Jesse. But yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to. The thing is, yeah, he's trying to like keep production going on the water, but then that's going to limit the amount that you can just set up on the land in terms of eco. He is adding in villages as and when he can. So he's doing okay still, given the situation, but again, huge eco numbers for Genie now, and you can start seeing that food amount creeping up closer and closer to the 800 food that he needs to click to bronze. He does have wood working in now. Took him a little while to get it in. But yeah, Genie, like I said, going to be able to click bronze fairly soon. Jesse's not going to be there for a little while. Jesse needs to win a battle on the water here, like right now, basically. He needs to take this fight. The thing is, he doesn't know how close to the Bronze Age Genie is. But if Genie gets to the Bronze Age, gets the war galley upgrade in, then Jesse just completely loses the water. And at the moment, you can see it's actually fairly even. In fact, Jesse has the advantage here. Jesse just needs to fight this out. And if Jesse can get a big win here on the water, I mean, they are Persian ships, but he's just outnumbered. I mean, I think you have a higher damage output just by having more numbers. Doesn't matter that of the bonus there. Just the numerical. There's more health for the Persians to shoot through as well. Oh, this could be a little bit bad. I mean, it wasn't, but we can go back if you want. No, I'm not going to bother. Axe is trying to sneak around. They're actually going to catch some villagers here, which is a little bit surprising. But yeah, Bronze Age basically already in for Genie now. Jesse has actually managed to click up not as far away from Genie as I thought he might have done. All these axes are going to get cleaned up now. Yeah, but I'm telling you that that's too much of a difference for the Persian bonus to make up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's a waste of axes, really. They managed to get in a handful of kills, and I don't think they were going to crack the base anytime soon. Archers, bows forward from Genie. And, well, I think they'd have a hard time. Yeah, I think Genie's just going to commit to the water for the time being, though. You can see he's just switching onto gold now. But these bows are already getting in quite a good amount of damage. 4 eco kills, plus a bunch of military kills. And the Hittites do have +2 range on their war galleys at this point. But war galley upgrade is in first for the Persians. And Genie, this might be the fight that kind of decides the game, really. And yeah, Genie just has way more power on the water now. And yeah, Jesse just going to lose all of his scout ships before war galley comes in. And yeah, these bows just in his base, still being a huge pain in the ass. And I think this is probably going to be GG's fairly soon. So the war galleys can just push in now. War galley is in for Jesse, and he is trying to switch on to the chariot archer. But I feel like Genie should... I mean, I guess he's setting himself mostly up, setting his eco up at the moment. But here we go, war galley's coming forward now. Artisan ship coming in for both players. But yeah, Genie should just be able to sweep forward. See, there's an awful lot more war galley on the queue. I think the thing is he's just not there's like being little pockets of action in lots of different places. Because Jesse was doing micro on the water earlier on. Well, yeah, this all stems really from the early push from Genie on the land. Like I say, what all Jesse's done well to keep this game competitive for this long, really, with his quick walls keeping him in the game. And arguably, it was only really that, like, the house, the overchop at the top there, that gave Genie the eco edge. Chariot archers are attempting to come forward. It looks like Jesse's basically abandoned the water for the time being. So one of the other thing about Hittites is they only sit in the game, they don't go to the... Ooh, okay, this could be pretty bad for Genie. Overchop of his own. These villagers do not have needlework in. It's going to be an absolute massacre on the wood line. And if there was one hope for Jesse coming back from this in this game, this may be it. 30 war galleys, but war galleys can't take down units on the land. Absolute massacre. 28 eco kills there. That said, Genie still has an eco edge. But absolutely brutal. And yeah, okay, there's cavalry units now coming forward, picking off a few of Jesse's loose villagers as well. But yeah, it's like, obviously Genie has absolute control of the water, but if Jesse can just get himself in the middle of the map, I don't actually noticed the big pocket in the middle there. Jesse hasn't spotted that. It seems the one stable. And these chariots might be able to reach a good amount of this wood line, so there's another few villagers down. But Genie has plenty of resources in the back. This game has got very messy now. If Genie found this pocket here, that could be a bit disastrous for Jesse as well. At the moment, Jesse just poking and prodding with those Hittite chariot archers. 29 units, hand stone throw out now. So yeah, Jesse, like I said, just abandoning the water. Trying to go for a bit of an all-in approach on the land. Mobility coming in for Genie's cavalry. Bunch more villagers going to get chopped down. Hittite chariot archers should deal with the cavalry here. And the stone throwers are forward now. So can Jesse make the miracle happen. A couple of villagers trying to sneak forward. Going to get taken down. Another little bit of an overchop there. Another couple of villagers go down. And most of the cavalry has been taken care of now. Oh, okay. War galleys did catch out a few of those villagers. But yeah, Jesse, like I said, can just move further inland. More stables coming down in the centre. How has Jesse not spotted this? Well, he sees the storage pit now. Chariots are in. I don't think there are actually that many villagers. Yeah, most of the villagers have migrated away. Does idle all of the farms though. A few cavalry units able to pick up a couple of chariots here and there. This game has descended into full anarchy, and these fort villagers here are going to get picked off as well now. And it's hard to call, really. Like I said, 33 war galleys for Genie, but those war galleys aren't going to really do anything at this point. And forward siege workshop does get taken out. And actually a few of the fishing ships being taken down as well. And Genie being forced to constantly re-establish his base. And he's now got no gold miners, but he does have plenty of gold for the time being. Obviously in the long run. Okay, there we go. They're just being added back on gold. And Jesse's going down swinging at the very least. I don't know if I can. It feels like he has control of the land, but the eco numbers for Genie just makes me feel like Jesse shouldn't have a chance in this game. Need an academy. He could add one, but those hoplites are a slow unit, and at the moment I feel like mobility is key. I think what he's doing at the moment, I mean, maybe he could just start pushing hoplites into his opponent's base, and then he does have to add in all those techs. It's an expensive transition. Jesse bunching up in the little gap in the middle here. Cavalry numbers are starting to take their toll. I don't think oh no, he does have the +4 armour. Cavalry starting to be able to chew in to those chariots. Jesse doesn't have nobility for his chariots. It's a major issue. And I think the eco advantage for Genie is kind of starting to show itself. Jesse's sort of struggling to keep production going now. I mean, they're pretty zippy, are the fish. So that once you get the fishing boat ship upgrade in, they're still fairly efficient. But yeah, like I said, I think the eco advantage for Genie is starting to show itself a bit too much now. Although that said, Genie has run out of gold now. Does he have? Oh, does he have any more gold on his map? There's gold here. There's gold here. There's gold here. But Jesse's currently taking that gold. There's, like I said, Jesse forced more into the centre of the map by those. Whoa, look at that! Look at all these rising ships here. I hadn't noticed all these. Where are the war galleys? They're just patrolling. Like I said, Jesse gave up on the water pretty soon after the Bronze Age happened. Yeah, still a couple of chariot archers being annoying, but you can see cavalry numbers fairly high now. And again, Jesse's still missing the nobility upgrade for his chariots. And quite a lot of stables on the field, but again, just a little bit pinched for gold is Genie at the moment. Oh, he still has his gold in the base, so I hadn't noticed that one there. So how much gold is left in this? 1400. Still enough for about 20 cavalry units. I'll be able to get a good engage here for Jesse though. As the units kind of just caught patrolling around, just focus down the villager for the time being. Yeah, Jesse down to 14 chariot archers at this point, which means sort of whittled away. And yeah, chariot cavalry numbers now overtaking the chariot numbers. Well, briefly for a second there, should be. The yeah, cavalry coming through here. Yeah, Jesse, like I said, has been trying to do his best to come back in this game. A few more villagers probably got taken down there. Like I said, there's a lot of action going on all over the place. It's a little bit difficult to keep up with everything. Genie's sort of laid claim to this gold here. And yeah, the cavalry proving a little bit difficult for Jesse to deal with. His cavalry still don't have any armor upgrades in. But obviously they just deal so much damage that it's hard for villagers to do anything. And maybe Katie, like you were saying, maybe Jesse could have added in some sort of hoplite addition, but Jesse would have been a little bit hard to afford everything there. Like I said, those hoplites quite a slow unit as well, and the cavalry can just run amok. Just try and ignore them early on. A few villagers going to get caught out here as they're trying to add in additional archery ranges. And again, I think Genie's eco advantage, you can see double the eco count at this point. I think it's a little bit too much for Jesse to contend with at this point. See the KD still fairly even. I think just Jesse committing to the land, giving up the sea straight away, gave him a chance in this game. And Genie lost a lot of his villagers on the wood line there. We'll see battle here. But yeah, Jesse just not really able to afford the reinforcements he needs. Only has the eco for about 3 more archers in queue. Does queue up 4. And yeah, GG is called. So we go 2-1. What was a very long game in the end. 50 minutes. Like I said, Jesse made that competitive. Probably more so than it should have been. We go all the way back. The forward villager, Jesse, let me go back a little bit further, somewhat later to the tool age, and his initial axes just denied basically by the quick walls. And then when they did break in, Jesse just with the quick wall shenanigans kept this game alive a little bit longer. I thought here the axes were just going to be able to get in on the wood line, but Jesse, a few little wall tires, went for the cheeky play to trap the axes in. Stalled for a little bit there. So the axes did work themselves back through the house there. But kind of where it ultimately came undone was just when, I think it was actually a little bit before here. Gone a little bit past it, yeah. It was just like the overchop. Here we go. And these couple of axes came in here. Jesse does have needleworking in here, but I think he was focusing. There was the sort of the little battle in the water. He was focusing here. His axes came in. And yeah, he killed that one. Yeah, he killed that one axer. But then he was focusing other places. And he just lost a whole bunch of villagers here. As he was focusing on, I think on the water battle really, and then again, like I said, on the front. Because you can see there, he did do the initial right click on one of the axes, killed that one axer, but then obviously the villagers don't have an attack stance, they just stop attacking as soon as they kill the unit they've been commanded to attack. And that kind of, that there basically put Jesse on the back foot for the rest of the game. And like I said, he did a decent job of trying to keep himself in the game. And that War Galley upgrade came in for Genie here. Basically swept up all of the Navy. At this point, Jesse would, yeah, he's already switching into the Chariot Arch at this point. And then there was the small small glimmer of hope. And Jesse managed to take down, I can't remember how many villages it was in the end. I think it was like 20 or something like that. Again, I'm not exactly sure where Genie was focusing in at this moment, but not here, that's for sure. That gave Jesse a small glimmer of hope that potentially he could work his way back into the game. 21 villagers, 22. Do I see 23? 28 in fact, between the whole of them. So yeah, 28 villagers actually was the kills there. And that brought the game, made it feel a little bit closer, but yeah, you can still see that the eco age was much in favour of Genie, and they started out spreading out the extra docks all along the waterline. Had the fishing eco to help him out, and then yeah, just commit to the cavalry, and just the power of that unit just about able to take him over the finish line for Genie. We take ourselves to game 4. And imagine there'll be a little bit more of a break. Yeah, they've not quite started. I was going to say that game was quite a long one. And so we had, let me go back to the civs here. So that was Jesse's Hittites losing against the Genie's Persians there. So it's Jesse's pick. So if I was a betting man, I would say inland was going to be the next map. And Jesse doesn't have what I'd call the best civs left compared to Genie's. Like I said, I was a little bit surprised by this Babylonians pick when Romans were still left. And again, the Hittites, Jesse wasn't quite able to utilise them to take a win over the Persians. Potentially, Jesse could have maybe picked an all-round stronger civ as his second pick there. Maybe grabbing Phoenicians himself could have been the play. Okay, so they do... Oh no, hang on. That's a different lobby. But yeah, I think it's going to be inland. And I don't even know what Jesse will pick here. Sahara, what would... Yeah, just a little bit tough picks left for Jesse. I feel like Genie's Phoenicians and Romans feel heavily favoured. And potentially... Jesse did go 2-0 ahead, and I think he will be kicking himself a little bit if he lets this one slip away. I think Genie is actually supposed to be playing another series in half an hour, but at the rate we're going here, he's going to be playing Nightmare after this. He may be having to delay that game. Still currently hovering Continental. Okay, we're going to Sahara. Wow, okay. I guess that's actually, to be honest, that's not a terrible choice by Jesse. As like I said, I don't think he has the best of civs to try and match up into the Phoenicians on the inland if there is more of a water area on the map. That said, though, I don't know what civ Jesse really goes for. Does he just pick Macedonians and just try to outmuscle Genie in the Bronze Age? Although if he goes Mace and Genie goes Greeks, that's pretty rough for the Macedonians. So I'm not exactly sure if there are going to be some mind games being played here. But yeah, it feels difficult. Genie could, I mean, Genie's safest bet would just be to pick the Phoenicians here, the all-rounder civ. And maybe he does do that. Then Roman's still fine on inland. Maybe Genie picks inland, Romans here, saves Phoenicians for later. Choices, decisions. Yeah, this Babylonians feel like they're very matchup dependent. It feels like they're really good into like Hittite and Assyrian, just because their chariots match up quite well against the Hittite and Assyrian chariots, but then against other civs, they don't feel too strong. And Okay, still just waiting for the players to launch the game. And away they go. So we will get ourselves into game 4 of this Contenders Clash series between Jesse and Genie. I've not quit out the last game again. One moment. Yeah, his drafts was a little bit unusual. And it is the Macedonians. It is the Macedonians. Unfortunately for Jesse, Genie has not picked the Greeks. He's gone with the Romans. I think the Romans probably were the most logical civ for this map for Genie. Like I said, I think save Phoenicians for inland, and Greeks will just be your 6th unused civ. But this does make this interesting. Obviously, Romans economically much stronger in the early game. Maybe if Jesse can utilise the extra line of sight to find, I mean, he's already gone to grab those central elephants, so that's a pretty nice start for him. I was going to say the other couple of loose elephants there, he could have maybe gone a little bit more looking around for those, but he has already found one of his own elephants, the other one just over there. But yeah, so you have to really utilise that line of sight bonus to just get that exploration and find those extra resources, because that's basically your only quote-unquote eco bonus as a Macedonian. And then it does let you cover the map much quicker compared to, like, you can see the line of sight for a regular villager. I think that's 3 tiles, maybe it's 4 actually, it's a little bit hard to tell whilst they're moving, but +2 range. So it's +2 radius, so you actually get +2 in all directions, obviously. Pi r squared and all that, do a little maths for the area of the line of sight. Although obviously it's not quite perfect circle. It's a bit of a square circle. But yeah. I imagine Genie will probably try to go for some sort of forward and try and pressurise the Jesse and the Macedonians. The other thing as well is the Macedonian hoplite advantage doesn't really do much into the Romans, as the Romans have like no good ranged units anyway. So Genie could literally just go hoplite to hoplite with Jesse, and then just rely on the stronger eco of the Romans to back that up. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, we may not even reach the Bronze Age. I'm speculating on Bronze Age just because that's kind of where the Macedonians' main bonuses start kicking in, I should say. Like I said, Genie may just go for some early play with the Romans, just try and go double barracks forward. This villager kind of looks like he's got some ideas. As Genie is now on 20 vils. Idle time starting to creep up. Jesse doing the same. So idle times are now in sync. And Jesse is nowhere near on the food, actually. So Genie already clicking up. And Jesse's adding in extra villagers. That's why he's nowhere near. That's interesting play. And he cancelled them now. A little bit confused. Okay, this villager got spotted by that crocodile. Instead, Genie's just going for the elephant. Doesn't have the wood for barracks just yet. Okay, so it doesn't look like we are going to see a forward barracks, question mark? I'm a little bit confused. Maybe this is a forward villager now. Genie's already most of the way to Tool Age. Jesse decides to add in a couple extra villagers. Does have 2 elephants still left. Barracks right at the edge of the map. That feels like not the optimal place to have your barracks, but I guess that was just where he had his villagers for the time being. Hidden barracks at the back there. Crouching Tiger hidden barracks. We'll have to make that into a new one. But yeah. Yeah, maybe it is. It could be a double archery range. Oh yeah, of course, in Macedonians we gave them the new team bonus of the faster working archer range. I completely forgot about that one. Yeah. Well pointed out, Popeye. Does give the Macedonians a few more options. But no. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's stable. Interesting. Interesting. So Jesse. Oh no, he's just going. Sorry, he's going fast bronze, isn't he? Yep. So yep, he's completely skipping the tool age. And we'll see. Like I said, Genie didn't go for a forward in the end. Just decided to take that elephant. And Genie's walling up. Jesse's going to be massively. He didn't make it. He didn't even make any extra villagers there. It's on quite a tight amount of food. Just watchtowers going for defense. And okay, second stable is going down. So it looks like we will see cavalry from Jesse. But Genie is mostly walled. There is a gap at the top here. Genie does see there is a gap there. Doesn't have the stone. It's just starting to mine it now. It's got 4 on stone. Probably a little few, maybe 1 or 2 too many on the stone there. And Genie is just trying to find his opponent's base. But yeah, Jesse's base, pretty open. Like I said, just because he's put a couple of these buildings at the back of the base, he's not formed any sort of building wall at all. Just relying on this tower to defend where, well, like basically all of his ecos in this little area here. He's got those few on the elephants. Bronze Age is going to come in though. And he does have... Okay, I think we probably want to cancel those scouts. I guess you can do... He's got the higher line of sight. He just wants to find his opponent. And with the singular scout, adding a few cavalry behind that. That's probably fine. Thinking about it. And yeah, still hasn't had to go into the farms yet. Though I think Jesse's going to have a little bit of a crunch in the old resource area. Maybe he goes... Yeah, okay, he does go for granary on the berries. Try and fend off that big crunch you will get when you need to start getting the food, the farms up. If you don't have the wood eco ready for that, it's always a little bit tough. Actually going to get taken down. But I think Genie is fully walled now. And Scout is going to spot the first wall. Macedonians do get the cheaper siege. So potentially we may see a forward siege workshop. I think my Age of Empires has just crashed. My Age of Empires has just crashed. Sorry about that. So I will quickly... I'm getting a whole host of errors here. Hopefully... Has my internet gone down? Or am I still here? I think I'm still here. Right, I'm just going to have to relaunch the game, sorry. Try and get us back in as soon as possible. Oh, okay, maybe the game crashed, actually. Because the game doesn't seem to be running anymore. So maybe the match itself actually crashed as opposed to my... Well, my game did crash. Because I've had to restart it. Let me check. The game is no longer there. Let me just check. I think Jesse is streaming. So I'm just going to have a quick look and see what's happening on his end. Yeah, looks like they're trying to reload the game. Are they going from a save? Yeah, it looks like the game itself crashed, which also caused my game to crash, strangely enough. I think, unfortunately, in this position, when they load from a save, that I won't be able to rejoin the game, though I will try my best to do so. So yeah, the action was about to all unfold there. Unfortunately, had a little bit of a crash in the game. Can I find the lobby in-game? Maybe I can do it that way. Just bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. It's always weird that you can't, like, rejoin. Like, I guess it's just because obviously you don't have the saved data for the starting point, so it kind of makes sense, but still a little bit sad. So, I mean, I guess we can just take Jesse's point of view for the rest of this map. Obviously, it's not ideal that we do it that way, but that might be the best I can do for you, all for the time being. But like I said, it was kind of strange that their game dropping crashed my game as well. So I don't know if that was like an age servers thing. I'm not really sure. It looks like they're currently discussing whether or not they're just going to restart the game. I think you are supposed to do. They're sort of saying they're not sure what the. I think they are supposed to try and restore if they can. The thing was, I wasn't really paying attention to Genie's base. I don't know if he, because sometimes it happens where one of the players drops and the game continues on for some time. Just responding. Like I said, I wasn't paying too much attention to Genie's base there, so I don't know if he like went idle for a little while. I'm just reading Jesse's chat. So yeah, I think, like I said, I think they're supposed to try and restore. Oh, do the POV stream. I have no idea how like anyone can follow the Vietnamese stream. I've like tried to watch them myself before because I think they play at 2.0 game speed as well, just so the early game happens a bit quicker because you're not allowed to attack in Bronze Age. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's just a player point of view, and it's just like the guy clicking all over the place, and it's just so hard to follow. Yeah, so they're relaunching the game from save. Again, I don't think I will be able to spectate because I obviously don't have the save data from the game. I will just check quickly just to confirm that is the case. Yeah. I don't think Genie. I'm not sure Genie does stream. I'm not 100% sure, but I've got Jesse's stream, so we have that as the best case scenario, I guess. Although currently is just showing the community patch on his page. Wait, is he like hidden his stream so people don't ghost? Or is he just in the loading screen maybe? Sometimes my stream doesn't like it when I try to stream in stream as well. Wait, does his game crash again? Okay, his game crashed again. I think they're going to have to restart the game then. Okay, well, technical difficulties here in the Contenders Clash. Hopefully we'll get those sorted out for you soon. Like I said, we are in game 4. I'll go back to the draft for the time being, just so you're not just looking at the screen. So we are in game 4. Currently Jesse is 2-1 ahead. He was 2-0 ahead until he went up with the Hittites against the Persians on Continental. Go me for remembering the restart rules. Thank you, Carver, for sharing. I think they're going to have to restart the game because it looks like they tried to restore and Jesse's game just crashed again. So I'm hoping it's not a bug with the data mod. I don't know why that would be the case. We'll see what we can do. So yeah, sorry for the downtime. Blame Carver. Poor Carver. Well, I don't know, it was just like when my game restarted, it said that it disabled all the mods just in case. I don't know. That's probably just like a default thing that it puts though. So okay, so it does look like we are going to restart that game, as unfortunately I think the crash made it so the restore file didn't work properly. That is in a way good for us as spectators because that means I will be able to spectate properly again, and we are going to see the Romans against Macedonians again on Sahara. Although Jesse didn't actually do hidden civ there, but I guess they both knew what civ they were going to play, so it didn't matter. So we'll close Jesse's stream now, and I will get us into the 4th game. Hopefully we have no more issues. Yeah, well, yeah, that's true, Carver. That is very true. Though I don't know if Jesse just decided to go into that just because he didn't quite have the eco to go 20 pop up, so he just decided to change the plan on the fly. I don't know if that was decided in advance. I've actually got capture age going. I'm just showing you a blank screen because that's where capture age should be. Yeah, well, it was interesting again because it looked like Genie kind of did have ideas to go forward, and he was like, "Oh, an elephant." That just decided against it. So I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, we could see a completely different. Well, obviously, it is a completely different game, but we'll see if the strategies are the same, or if, like, say, Genie does go all in here. Jesse. Not immediately going for the centre this time. He did a little bit of exploration first. He's going to find his gazelle fairly early on. I think he will. Okay, that's interesting. So he's decided to just stick with the gazelle. Doesn't go for the central elephants first. And let's see if either player does, in fact, do that. Gazelle's unfortunately going to run away a little bit more. There we go. It's picked up by that second villager there. But yeah, again, the Romans' cheaper building bonus, just giving them a pretty decent eco edge over the Macedonians. Should, in theory, allow the Roman player to play a lot more aggressively in this matchup. Yeah, I was a little bit surprised that Jesse didn't go for the centre of the map there. I guess he just found his gazelle straight away and thought, well, might as well. So, again. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that if you go to the centre of the map, you've got pretty good odds of finding like an extra elephant as well with your extra line of sight. Well, maybe not good odds, but better odds than any other civ. Is that a Nilly hippo? It is a Nilly hippo. I spy in the shot there. It looks like storage pit is going to go up on this little tree line. One gives a little bit in the way there. Nilly, of course, one of the old AOE2 casters / players that unfortunately decided to step back a bit from the age scene. I think he still streams now and again. Maybe you're able to tell me more about that, Wattle, yourself. But I think a lot of players in the community, or people in the community in general, are a little bit sad to see him step back. Obviously, his Nilly Apartment Cup being one of the bigger tournaments of the year. And obviously, he was just a big personality in general. Storage pit going up on the little wood line there for Jesse. Hasn't quite spotted the elephant at the back there. Idle villager. There we go. Just where we go. Maybe we're looking for the other elephant. But yeah, neither player going for those central elephants, and both players clicking up. Oh, Jesse clicks up 18 vills, so he decides to go completely different here. He has got a lot more idle TC time than his opponent, though. So actually, both players are going to basically be up at about the same time. Genie with 2 villagers extra. Does find his extra elephant there. Artifact probably will find his opponent's base. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe he doesn't want to lose. Doesn't want the artifact to get captured off him. So just searching the ridge. Ooh, a couple of the villagers getting spotted here. But yeah, Jesse, despite going 18 vills up, he's not got the high ground. Does have the second villager though. It should be a one trade. So that is gonna deny Genie's forward barracks, which is good news for Jesse. I don't know why he's chasing with a lower health vill, but he is. Barracks goes up at home, and stable going down. So we are going to see another stable play by Jesse. It'll be interesting to see if this is just scouts here. Barracks only just coming up for Genie. So, okay, mark it. Interesting. Is that just going to be stone mining upgrade? Just go slingers? Maybe trying to anticipate Jesse utilising the Macedonian team bonus that Popeye reminded us about earlier. The walls are trying to be rushed up. Scouts coming out. And that's a lot of walling that Genie needs to do if he wants to fully close off his base. And obviously the immediate edge facing his opponent is walled, but the scouts will be able to quite quickly get around. And you can see he's run out of stone. He's already sent 2 villagers 2 stone, in fact, and built a storage pit. But yeah, it's a long way to wall up on this side. And scouts' speed, again, should carry them around that. Both upgrades already in. No needlework in for Genie. Does have the resources for it, though. Club is coming out. Probably just wants to have a good look around the base before any real engage. Do have 1 forward club man from Genie. For the time in tower's just defensive play for Jesse. And Jesse manages to pick up a villager already. And he's managed to get 2. It's already a pretty good start. So that evens up the idle TC time, I guess. And Jesse does sneak slightly ahead on the villager now. And Genie's not gone for the AXA upgrade. You do need the AXA upgrade to get the bonus damage against the cavalry. And the scouts are going to be able to get onto the wood line here. And Jesse going for a completely different play to how he did before we had the restart. Archer range is going up. Obviously, archer range not really that helpful into scouts. And needlework still not in for Genie. It's a lot of clubbers hammering away now, though. But that's 6 villager kills. And that is definitely worth the investment for Jesse. It's still 2-1. It's still 2-1. We had a little bit of a problem with we got sort of to the Jesse got himself to the Bronze Age and then the game crashed, so we've had to restart the game. Yeah, it's only the Axemen that get the bonus. They have to be upgraded to the AXA. And then I believe it's +4 damage. Yeah, +4 damage against cavalry. So Jesse does not want to take this fight. I think this cavalry are doing things by their own. I feel like Jesse had the time to realise what was going on there. He's going to lose another villager. So the forward archery range may just get denied here. Jesse adding in more scouts. And it's got to be a little bit... Yes, maybe archery range here a little bit too far forward. I guess maybe Jesse felt like he was in a pretty good position. Obviously, he has got those 10 eco kills. And he's going to have a huge eco lead. And if he can pick off another couple of villagers here, that'll be really nice for him. I think he probably could have just settled for the damage he got and then just started setting himself up properly at home. But he is going to pick off a couple more vills. Still no needlework for Genie. So his villagers, another 2 going to go down. Archer probably going to get picked off as well. Yeah, no needlework means the scout still going to be probably able to pick off 1 more villager before going down as the AXA helps out. And there goes another villager. 14 vills. 13-14 vill lead for Jesse now. And archer range just about survives. Looks like actually, yeah, another archer range was built at home. And the scouts, and again, yeah, it was just Genie just had too much of a map to wall up here. And the forward barracks, or the attempt at a forward barracks, getting spotted by Jesse. It's given him a huge chance to take the series now. Nearly double the eco already at only 16 minutes. And you've got to think that Jesse has had to do something pretty horrendous to throw the game at this point now. And, like I said, I think he could probably take his foot off the gas on the scouts now. I mean, he's still going to get another pick here, isn't he? That's 19 villager kills. And yeah, no needlework from Genie. Could have meant these scouts did a fraction of this. And I think Genie probably just a little bit, I don't know, thrown. I mean, I think, to be fair, to be Jesse, I think he's played very well as well. But yeah, like I have said earlier on a normal day, I think Genie usually is the slightly stronger of the two players, but the two players are still very evenly matched. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to want to play that game. Well, he's meant to be playing it right now. But I think Genie's probably going to be asking if he can have that game delayed, at least by half an hour or so. I thought for a second there that was open, but it is just the... I mean, now it is open. But yeah, it was just the slope of the hill there. But yeah, Jesse, curiously, still pumping the tool age units. I feel like he could have used this time to just get himself on the way to bronze. I mean, he's got 21 villagers on food compared to only the 12 of Genie, so we probably get to 800 food fairly quickly. Got 16 on wood. Probably should try and move a few more onto food, and probably some onto gold in the near future as well. Bowmen are probably going to be required. I mean, just, yeah, he's already got a good number here with woodworking coming out to fend off the axes. And Genie looks like he's trying to add in the slingers. I think Jesse, again, maybe doesn't need to get too suckered into these tool wars, but he has enough of a eco lead here that I guess it probably shouldn't matter. Oh, this bow's getting a little bit close for comfort, but Scout should be able to try and get into the back lines on the bows here now. Maybe just try and pick off the slinger actually. Just running the axes round. No chance. Genie's army absolutely destroyed. And now Jesse has both the army and the resources to click to bronze. 49 vils to 29. Again, Genie probably could have researched needlework, and a lot of that damage could have been prevented. Needlework villagers pretty resilient to scout attacks. Woodworking coming in as well. Oh, game paused.
Yes.
Genie says a sec. I don't know if this is him just like responding to a nightmare.
Yes.
I don't know if he was just checking the Discord. Maybe Nightmare tagged in. No, okay, that wasn't that. But yeah, Bronze Age in for Jesse. Gold mining coming in. Needs to get himself up. There we go. Storage pit coming up on the gold. Here come the villagers. Ooh, a little bit of a lag. I think that's when you do a bit of a pause. Capture Age sometimes have a little funny turn. It's just Capture Age catching back up with the game again. And the market's gonna maybe get taken down. Genie destroys the wall to let his army through. I don't know if he actually wants to do that. Scouts are going to sneak in. Needlework still not in, so the scouts could potentially get another couple of eco kills. One of them is fairly low though. They get no needlework. Maybe we don't see any eco kills there, but or maybe I'm not exactly sure what happened in the scrum. Okay, a couple did get taken down. But Jesse momentarily pushed back. But now Bronze Age is in. Does Genie tap out? No, just keeps going for the time being. Sling is in queue, but you've got to imagine it's just going to be cavalry coming out from Jesse now. And GG is called. And 3-1 to Jesse. So Jesse advances in the Contenders Clash. Bronze into GG, yeah, basically. Jesse absolutely butchering Genie with those scouts there. And again, Genie only... a lot of that could have been prevented by simply researching needlework. He had the resources here to do it. I don't know if he just forgot to click it. But yeah, these scouts able to snipe off a whole bunch of villagers. And the clubbers didn't have the AXA upgrade in, so nowhere near as effective at dealing with the scouts. I think he got another couple of villagers in just this spot here, if I remember correctly. I think it was 6 was the count. And then he still managed to get another wave in after that. And that was just... that's just too much of a deficit to come back from. And yeah, it looked a little bit sketchy at the start where Jesse went up 18 pop, but was basically up at the same time as Genie on 20. But Jesse changing the play from the previous game, which we had to do a restart from. Instead of going for the fast bronze, just went for the all in on the scouts. Really getting away with it here. Yeah, well, like obviously it is an investment. You do lose TC time and resources to do it, but like if it's going to stop you from losing 10 vills, yeah, well that's exactly it, Carver. That's exactly why the tech's there, right? It's to try and prevent you from basically losing the game instantly, as you say. And yeah, Genie just trying to wall up the whole base. You could just see how wide of an area he had to cover there. Like potentially he could have tried to close wall around here, but like even that's a task in itself. Yeah, exactly that. All it takes is a couple of military units with storage pit upgrades in. And if you don't have needle working, you basically just lose. But there it is, boys and girls. 3-1 to Jesse. And like I said, he will advance on to the next stage. And thank you for the raid, Jesse, and well played. I don't know if Genie is going to want to play his match straight away. But yeah, congratulations, man. Finally defeated your arch nemesis when it mattered most. Oh really? First time ever? Now yeah, you played pretty solid. The Hittites game on Conti was a little bit rough. You did quite well to keep yourself in that game for as long as you did, though. Yeah, the Hittite pick was a little bit not what I would have gone for, at least, in the draft. Let's go back to the draft here. So yeah, Sahara did end up getting won by the Macedonians. So Jesse's 6th pick, and I did say Jesse did used to be quite a big fan of the Macedonians back in DE. Maybe that will have rekindled some of his love for the Civ, and the Romans losing out there for Genie. Yep, thank you, Jesse. Thank you very much for giving us a very nice game on Ocean Ring there. Well, you can go back and watch the VOD later unrestricted and have a watch of that game. I swear Jesse just picks at every map just when I'm casting it. Just just for me. So thank you.